In sports today, it feels like we can measure everything. How fast someone runs, how high they jump, how hard they throw. But what about the single most important element? What about the mind? Today, we're diving into a whole new frontier in sports analytics, one that's trying to finally measure the mental game. This is going to be fascinating.
Okay, so think about any team sport. There's this huge gap, right? On one side, you've got the athlete's perception. That's their reality. The burning in their lungs, the split-second decision-making, the feeling of being completely dialed in or not. And on the other side, you've got the coach's perspective, that tactical, analytical view from the sideline. So much potential, so many insights get lost in that gap between them.
And that right there, that brings us to what you could call sport's great blind spot. For all our incredible technology and data, we're really only looking at half the picture. The physical stats are just part of the story.
Coaches and teams today they're drowning in data. They know exactly what happened on every single play. But the box score? It doesn't tell you why your best player seemed hesitant. It doesn't explain why the team just felt off. That's the blind spot.
So, this is the big question, isn't it? The million-dollar question, really. What if a coach could finally get a window into that gap? What if they could see not just what their players were doing, but get real, actual data on why they were doing it?
Well, this is where things get really interesting. A new approach is trying to do just that. Let's dig into a system designed to measure the mental game, and it's all built around something called the Mindset Performance Indicator, or MPI for short.
So what is this MPI thing? Well, at its core, it's a super structured post-game assessment. Think of it as a tool that lets athletes report on how things felt, but it does it in a consistent, standardized way. It literally turns those subjective feelings into objective data that you can actually track over a whole season.
And the whole goal here is to create what you might call a mental performance index. It's a system that's trying to put a number on all those intangibles we always talk about: attitude, confidence, mindset, and just the athlete's own gut feeling about how they played.
Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does it actually work? What does an athlete actually do? Let's go inside the assessment itself and see how it breaks everything down.
All right, so it all starts with the basics. After a game, an athlete jumps in and rates their own performance and the team's performance on this simple 1 to 7 scale. It goes all the way from panic, and let's be honest, we've all been there, up to that magical feeling of being in the zone. It's a quick, top-level gut check.
Next up, it digs into the mental side of things. How focused were they really? This scale captures their mental state during the game, from feeling very distracted all the way to being 100% focused.
And of course, you can't separate mind from body in sports. So athletes also check in on how they felt physically. This is so important for context, right? Were they feeling 100%, or are they battling an injury, or just feeling sick? That changes everything.
And the final rating scale is all about preparation. Did the athlete feel like the game plan made sense? Did they feel prepared to actually go out and execute the team's objectives? This directly connects the coach's strategy to the player's experience.
So let's put all those pieces together. The MPI is built on these quantitative ratings we just looked at: individual performance, team performance, mental focus, and preparation. But it's not just about the numbers. It also captures some really crucial qualitative feedback, which is where it gets even more powerful.
Now, this next part is, I think, really, really smart. Athletes choose from 2 different lists of attributes. First, they're the character qualities. These are those universal things: resilience, leadership, composure, that are all about who you are as a person and competitor. Then there are the behavior abilities. These are the nuts and bolts skills for your specific sport. The what you do, like court vision or pitch frame.
And maybe the most important part of the whole thing is this: the hindsight notes. This is just a simple, open text box where the athlete can write whatever they want in their own words to give the coach crucial context. This is where the real magic happens, where you get the story behind the numbers.
Okay, so we've got all this data: ratings, qualities, notes, the whole shebang. So what? What's the actual impact of all this? Well, it's all about closing that perception gap we talked about at the start, and the benefits really ripple out to everyone.
For the athletes themselves, just the act of doing this consistently builds a ton of self-awareness. For coaches, it's a game changer. It means they can stop guessing and start having real, data-driven conversations. And for the whole team, it just builds a culture of honesty, transparency, and accountability.
And what you end up with is this amazing, positive feedback loop. The athlete gets more self-aware, which gives the coach deeper insights.
The coach uses those insights to support the player better, which helps build a stronger team culture. See how it works? It's a cycle where everybody wins.
But honestly, this isn't just about winning the next game or even having a better season. The long-term vision here is, well, it's way bigger than that. It's about creating a completely new kind of athletic record.
Imagine this. Over years, all of this data comes together to create something totally new, a portable performance transcript. It's a single, unified record that follows an athlete throughout their career, capturing their whole journey, their growth as a leader, their mental toughness, not just their stats.
The people who built this system have a fantastic way of describing it. They say they're building the LinkedIn of athletics. I mean, how cool is that? It's a profile that you, the athlete, own and can take with you, showing the complete picture of who you are.
At the end of the day, it really just boils down to this super simple but incredibly powerful idea. You improve what you track, you get better at what you measure. By finally starting to put numbers to the mental game, we're unlocking entirely new ways for athletes to grow.
And that's really the thought I want to leave you with. Just think about it for a second. What would sports look like, from the time you're a kid all the way up to the pros, if an athlete's growth was just as important as their stats? What kind of potential could we unlock then?